What's going on, everybody? This is a part 2 to the scammed Miata situation. The turbo Miata right here that I bought and got scammed on, debatably. I just want to kind of close that out, let you know what ended up happening. Hopefully this can happen for you if you're put in that situation, in that little pickle. Hopefully it can go as well for you as it did for me. So I reached back out to the seller, we went back and forth, it got pretty heated at one point, and I think I made the video kind of at the climax, at the peak of the heat, at which point it de-escalated and got kind of flat. It was easy from that point forward. They agreed to take the car back for a full refund of the entire price that I paid for the car, assuming that it was not blown up. They didn't know if I was lying, if I was like making this stuff up, if I wanted to return it because I'd blown it up thrashing it too hard, or if I wrecked it or something like that, in which case they wouldn't want to take it back. So they said, if you bring it to me, I'll give you your full amount back, as long as we get the title back and the car's in the same shape that you purchased it in. I said, no, I'm not doing that, because if I drive it to you, then you can, like, if anything happened to it, if anything like gave out on the way, if someone else hit me, you could say that something happened on the way. So you come to me and we'll get it sorted there. And they said, yep, makes sense, that's rational, that's logical. And so they came to my house. I called a cop. I called the police in my area and said, hey, could I have an officer just to make sure that things are peaceful? And they were incredibly peaceful. There was no legitimate reason to have the cop there, but it's always a better bet to have them there just to maintain the peace, because things were heated at one point, so I didn't know if they would kind of escalate back up when they were there transacting, if they would kind of pull some strings and say, oh, you messed up the car. But no, they checked it out, they popped the hood, they made sure that everything was still there, they checked the interior out, they checked all the paperwork out, and they took the car back. I got the cash back. There are a few clips that I may have thrown in here of that process happening.
Socket set and then miscellaneous other paperwork, and that's all still in there, even the description. Should we grab that?
If you would, yeah, please. Thank you. I got your money right here, so as soon as he's...
But that's not all. So I'm done with the car now, but I also feel bad because someone else who didn't read the Carfax, who didn't pay to get the Carfax done, could be scammed by this guy. So I reached out on a friend's Facebook account because he had renewed the ad, he put it back up, and I said, hey, is this still available? Pretended like I was interested, like a different party that didn't know any better, who legitimately wanted to buy the car. And then I said, does it have a clean title? And he went full disclosure mode right away and said, yes, right now it has a clean California title. That's how it was given back to me at the DMV. However, when I transferred it, it was not as such. And if you go back on the Carfax, it says that it was salvaged at one point. So just want to be forward. Right now I do have a clean title with actual mileage in hand, but that's not the history of the vehicle. So he passed my little test. Maybe he knew it was me because they checked the profile of someone and saw that like we were friends on Facebook. So he may have just been answering because he knew of the affiliation and the association. But fingers crossed that he's honest with everyone out there. And that's pretty much it for the situation. That's how it ended up playing out for me. Now, if you had someone else who didn't have their name on the title, or who was just less ethical, less cooperative, then it may escalate to a legal battle. You may not even be able to get things sorted or figured out. But to my knowledge, the seller got the title back, it was clean, and they may have intentionally or may have just completely forgotten about it. I don't blame someone for not running a Carfax on a vehicle that old. They probably just checked the condition of it, didn't end up running a Carfax, called it good, and said, I have a clean title, so I'm going to sell it as such. Yeah, no shade thrown at the previous owner, previous seller, because they said all the right things, they did things in the right way. And I got my money back. I didn't mess up the car. As you saw in the past video, yes, I got on it up to maybe 5,000 RPM. After it was fully warmed up, I'm sure not harder than he drove it. when he had it, and so that's how it played out. But with that in mind, I just wanted to fill anyone in on this situation so that you know how I approach things, how you can do the same moving forward if you're put in that pickle, put in that pinch, put in that situation. With that in mind, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Love y'all.